Hey, I hope you're doing well today. I'm Dave, and today we're going to talk about being sober sucks. So, about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, coming on 3 months, I decided to quit smoking weed. And I had been smoking weed for about 8.5 years of my life every single day. I went from smoking, all day, every day, as a lot of stoners do, to when I started becoming more responsible, I would just smoke at night. But it was pretty much every day unless I had some reason to run out. So I just want to talk about kind of the differences that I felt and, the truth about what it is to be sober. And, it's not just all like floating around with the angels now that your addiction is gone or whatever it may be. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that like once you get sober from something that you've been trying to quit, you do feel better right away. You feel like you have accomplished something. Like the first few weeks of me quitting, I felt like this big weight had been lifted off. I felt, especially with weed, I felt just less foggy headed. I felt a lot better. But that is in contrast to, smoking all the time. So now what happens when it's a few months down the road and now that normal, that not foggy headed feeling becomes your normal? Then what happens? So what I noticed is that I stopped feeling like that extra boost of like motivation for stopping. So once I became like normalized with this new normal, it made me feel like, oh, well, I could just smoke a little bit. Like, what's the big deal? And, I did try smoking a couple of times, and I told you guys in previous videos when I did, but it didn't give me the same kind of relief that I was looking for when I was smoking all the time. And it kind of made me less present and not in the moment. I didn't really like it. But what happens when these feelings come up and you just want to give up because you're like, wow, I don't feel that much different? Because that is something that I think we need to talk about. Like, yeah, I don't, like, now that I'm used to this, I don't feel that much different than I did when I was smoking all the time. And, I don't have, like, so much more energy. It's crazy. It's like, I just feel normal, I feel like this is now my new normal. So what's exciting about that? And I think a trap that a lot of us fall into, a lot of people quit for a while. It might be weed, it might be drinking, it might be something, and they feel the initial benefits, and then once those initial benefits wear off, it's kind of like, well, this isn't any better. I mean, now I have no way to deal with my problems, and what am I going to do now? So that's the next thing I kind of want to talk about is having that escape and what it feels like not to have that escape. So usually when things would get stressful, I have a crutch to lean on. I had my weed. Like I had my bowl, I had my bong, I had whatever it was that I was smoking. And it would make things okay for the time being. Now, when I pulled that out, like at first I dealt with the struggles, it was really hard. And then, but once I had the initial, feelings go away, the resistance and the negative feelings and the emotions that I was kind of running away from, once I got over that, everything seemed like it'd be better. But then things happen in your life, and nothing's ever like perfect. So what happens then? Like you don't have that crutch that you usually run to. You don't have that escape. So it can be a lot harder on you, and you have to try to find new ways to deal with those problems that you have. And I find that a lot of people might just say, "Screw it! I'm just going to start smoking again because this is hard, and this isn't helping me anymore." And I just want to let you guys know that it's okay to feel that way, but trust me, it's not going to help you to move backwards in your life. Like you made this choice to quit whatever you had to do or quit whatever you were doing because you had to. You knew it in your heart. You knew deep down that the sober life and, that path is truly where you want to go. And going backwards is not going to, like, what do you get when you smoke weed every day? You already know, right? You know what you get. You get high, and then you get sober, and then you get high again, and then you get sober. What happens when you drink every day? Same thing. But you don't know what happens if you've been a year sober. You don't know what that's like. So wouldn't you rather see like a new like part of life that you haven't experienced yet rather than just reverting back to your old ways? Like, I quit weed a few years back. It was only for like 35 days or 32 days or something like that. And I got to that point, that month where I'm like, well, I did it. I proved to myself I did it. But now, like, life is not any better. It's actually kind of worse. I don't have that little fun escape that I used to. But so I reverted back to my old ways. And you know what it got me? Nowhere. It got me doing the same stuff. I never wanted to try anything new. I was in my comfort zone. So I think it's important to realize that a lot of the emotions and stuff that happen are because you're coming out of that comfort zone. And the best thing to do is start trying to find new things to do. You have more time, like especially at night, because a lot of us when we smoke weed, especially or drink, you can't really drive anywhere. I hope you're not driving anywhere, but with weed you can definitely drive. I'm not promoting it, but as someone who smokes it all the time, it doesn't impair you that much. You can go out and do stuff, but like how much, I know there are people that do it, but there's not that many people that get high and they just want to go, people don't even want to go, I didn't even want to go to the grocery store, and when I had to, I was like, yeah, this is not good. And then you'd buy way more food than you needed, and it'd be like junkier food than you probably wanted to. So, it's really holding you back from doing extra things at night. Like you could be reading a good book or like researching something that you've never researched. You could be trying to go out and find a new hobby, like go rock climbing at a rock gym. And you have extra money now because you're not spending it on weed. So you have money to invest in a new hobby. You could join a gym and, after work, you could start going to work out instead of just like right when you get home from work, just cracking a beer or smoking a bowl, And I think that's the most important thing when you're coming off of something that you're used to doing for so long, that if you don't find new ways to put your energy into and new ways to keep your mind distracted, because honestly, like drinking and smoking weed is keeping you kind of distracted from, the fact that your life may be kind of boring or that your life may not be, that great. And I'm not trying to say that's bad, but that's what I noticed with me, man. Like I used to skateboard, play basketball, just like ride my bike, do all these things like when I was younger and when I was sober, because I didn't want to just sit there and watch TV all day. Like I definitely got into that when I got more into my teens because, I was going to school and I was doing basketball practice and I had my time when, I just wanted to chill and watch some TV. But, as you get older, you realize like, whoa, where have all my hobbies gone? I used to like be really excited to do all these things. And a lot of that can be, attributed to, just being high or being drunk at night and not needing to do anything outside of that because you're feeling good. You're feeding your soul with something that's taking you out of like the anxiety of like the fact that you are maybe being kind of a loser. Like, don't take offense to this. Like, I look at this as me, like, wow, I was just a loser. Like, sure, I did a lot of things that people would give me credit for. And, during the day, I was working on myself a lot. I've always been working on myself a lot, following a raw food diet for spiritual reasons and health reasons, getting myself from a really negative place in that where I was just eating junk food all the time to where, I was eating healthy. And that's the thing, like, when you start eating healthier, you will break out of some of those negative patterns, even if you are still drinking and smoking. Like, you're going to get a little bit more energy, but you're still going to be stuck in that kind of low vibe where it's like, I don't know, like, this is just me, guys. Like, you might be disagreeing, but like when I would just smoke all the time, I would just be okay with doing nothing. And then the next day I would get some anxiety, like, wow, my life isn't going anywhere. Like, I'm still in the same place I was 3 years ago. But I wasn't taking initiative. And I'm not saying that you can't drink or smoke or do other drugs and not be productive and not be successful. But what I'm saying is the majority of people and the people that I surrounded myself with and that I became, the person that I became, wasn't one of those people. It was someone that was using it to hold myself back from really trying in life, And being sober, it's not easier, but it gives you the clear mind to finally decide that you do want to take action and you do want to do something more than just sit on the couch. So, you know, just take a look at, you know, why you think that, you know, now that you're sober, why it sucks. Like, why aren't you doing anything? And it might be because you're just reverting back to what you used to do, and now you just feel more bored, you know? Like, being sober is boring unless you're being productive or being creative, you know? So you gotta try to take that energy and that, like, downtime and put it into something creative. Like, make a vision board. Just start writing down in a journal what you want. Find a new hobby, go out and try to meet new friends, go on like meetup.com and like go on like join like a running group or like a group that just like goes and talks about life or something, or like, you know, start getting into like researching like what religion's all about and find like maybe a spiritual path that really resonates with you. And maybe if you start putting your energy into that, being sober is going to suck a lot less. And I'm just telling you because this is where I'm at right now. And I'm really trying to find more hobbies and more things to do. And not only that, but I'm really trying to work on a business that I'm working on. And I think that, you know, I got a little stuck in like a negative space for a little bit. And I was kind of almost ready to give up and just be like, well, if I'm not doing anything now that I'm sober, then what's the point of being sober? But it's like, no, you have to break through that and you have to take action. Because nothing comes without action, and nothing comes without persistence and consistency. Like, you got to just keep trying. And it, you know, life isn't about like sitting idly by and watching your life go by. Like, you have to create your life. And I think being sober-minded is the best way to do that, because you can clearly see what you really want. So, yeah, that's a video for today, guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. I know I did. And yeah, like if you liked this video, and write down in the comments maybe some reasons why you think being sober sucks, why you never will be sober, what being sober has helped you. Because I'm new to this journey, and you know, I honestly never thought that I would be someone to say that I'm working on being 100% sober. But you know, giving up weed was the first step to that. It's the only thing that I did, you know, habitually, was smoke weed. I never drank that way. I never drank that way or did any other drugs that way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you soon.